Joining us with reaction is the House Minority Leader, Congressman Kevin McCarthy, California. Congressman, good to see you. Thank you for being with us. Let's start with Adam Schiff, because you believe that he's met his own standard as it relates to recusal in the investigation, which apparently the Mueller investigation is not going the way he wants.
Well, there's a lot of questions, and Schiff actually laid out a couple of years ago that anybody that shows that a conflict of interest or disbelief in it has to recuse themselves. There's a couple questions for him. Schiff, when we were trying to find out who paid for this dossier, he fought. So we could not find out. It was the Democratic Party that paid the Russians for the dossier. Then now we find out that Schiff met with Glenn Simpson, who's the co-founder of Fusion GPS, well, who, remember, Nellie Ohr worked, the wife of Ohr, over at the Justice Department. And at the time he met with him, the committee wanted to re-look at him based upon the testimony Glenn Simpson had given. So did Schiff talk to Simpson about that, what the committee wanted to look at? Now we find out in the Michael Cohen that Schiff talked to him. We want to know, did staff meet with him? Did he tamper with the witness? Did he try to direct the witness? How many times did he meet?
Well,
what did they talk about?
Didn't they say that they talked about what issues would come up, the topics?
Schiff has not said so. These are questions he needs to answer. The other thing that's very interesting, when Glenn Simpson came before the committee, you know what Adam Schiff did at the end? He asked Glenn Simpson to direct the committee on where they should go with the investigation. The man who created all this. Then the most outrageous thing I found in that whole Michael Cohen hearing. Remember why this whole Mueller investigation is going forward. This whole thing of collusion. It is all based upon the belief that Michael Cohen went to Prague to meet with the Russians. Michael Cohen said he did not. So the foundation for why we are even in the investigation in the first place has been thrown apart.
What did you think,
yes.
Congressman, what did you think of the tape I just played? Now, in that tape, Adam Schiff believed he was talking to a Russian operative who had compromising material on Donald Trump. It sounded to me an awful lot like, on tape, him colluding with the Russians to dig up dirt on Donald Trump. Maybe I heard it wrong, but that's what I heard. I'm wondering what you heard.
Well, remember what else we know about Adam Schiff. Before this investigation even began, he said he had proof and evidence. Now, I'm not related to Joe McCarthy, but Adam Schiff is a modern-day Joe McCarthy, somebody who claims something and never has delivered. But the one thing he has delivered on, protecting Fusion GPS. He didn't want us to know that the Democrats paid for the Russians to have this false dossier. He protected Glenn and met with him when others did not know. And did he tell him that the committee was concerned about his own testimony?
They're going to use up to eight House committees now, nonstop investigation. This is the widest net investigation we've ever seen. You're right. This is like modern-day McCarthyism. And they're doing it to get their power back in the hopes that we can eliminate gas, oil, cows, planes, cars as we know them, and everything is going to be free and confiscate pretty much everything everybody makes. I've never seen it like this before. I don't know what the right strategy is, but if this is an abuse of their power, it should be.
They're doing it for a couple different reasons. If you watched Congressman Nadler this weekend, I was on George Stephanopoulos' show with him right afterwards. He is starting to denounce the Mueller investigation. Why? Because they know there's no collusion. So they're saying, we don't have to worry about that. We need to start our own, and just throwing mud anywhere they go. But we've got to stop calling them the Democratic Party, because I've never seen it this poisonous, this toxic, and there's no other way to say it than a socialist. They want to take over your health care. They just introduced Medicare for all, where you can't have private health insurance. They want to take over your homes and what you can even have in your homes or your planes by this new Green Deal. They even call themselves the Democratic Socialist Party. We need to call them for exactly what this is. And they want to hide from the fact of the success of this president. Just last week, look what the GDP said, 2.6% growth when everybody thought it was 2.2%. This president is sitting in Vietnam trying to denuclearize North Korea, and never in the history of this country, it always was before, that the politics ends at the water's edge. If this president or any president is overseas, you would not do to this president what they did. The dislike for this president is so great, they'll go against their own country's safety and freedom.
If he would have given $150 billion in cash and other currencies, they probably would have praised him, just like they praised that Iranian deal. Mr. Minority Leader, Congressman McCarthy, thank you.